So I'm really excited right now because I get to try some of my buddy's coffee company beans that he sent me. I got this Tanzania. It's a medium roast coffee as I requested it to be roasted medium roast and full bean, like whole bean, from Sleepy Mind Coffee. And I'm gonna be using my little Chemex here to have a first impressions for a coffee tasting. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to make sure wet a Chemex coffee filter. I have it on here, so it's kind of folded because of the way I had it in between transit and moving. But that's okay as long as I can wet the wet, wet the paper filter right without it, going completely everywhere. Next thing I'm going to do is going to dose this coffee into, well, actually, since I have put the little itty bitty water in here, we're gonna take the water out because we don't want to have that in the coffee. So let's put this back. I'm having 45 grams of coffee ground for about 6.5 for on my little Encore coffee grinder that I have here. 45 grams, a couple clicks finer than 20. The next step in the process of making this Chemex is I'm going to make sure it's zeroed out. I have my little timer here, and as soon as I start pouring this thing, I'm going to hit start. So let's do that. What I'm aiming for, because I have 45 grams, I'm going for double the weight and water to the coffee ratio for the bloom time. And we want to let it bloom for a total of 30 seconds. So as you can see, a little bit over. My scale says 93, but that's perfectly fine. We see some bubbling happening right there. It's a good sign, that this coffee has been roasted not that long ago. And so, yeah, it looks like there's some of the gases that are escaping here. And what I want to do is to create a well-extracted coffee. And, well, it seems like I'm pouring fast. I'm pouring a little aggressively, specifically because of the gases that are in there. I want to have it to a point of where we can let the degassing process excel a little bit. And I'm going to stop it at 350 grams. That's how I was trained. And we're going to let it sit there so it can kind of brew a little bit while having an even extraction. Slowing down a little bit for 350 grams. Our time is about 1.5 minutes coming up right now. When it reaches 2 minutes, I'm going to finish up the brewing process, and we'll see the result of what the coffee is going to be looking like. We can tell by the shape of the coffee bed as it forms. So this is all in real time because I don't really have any editing programs or anything on this because this is recorded on an iPad. But that's perfectly fine. Okay, we've reached 2 minutes. I'm going to start from the outside. Get some of that in. Make sure everything's in the party. And in that circular motion, just the real kiss. Keep it simple. We have that crema that's forming on top. We want to make sure that it is a consistent brown color, and since it's a medium roast coffee, it's got some pretty nice color and action going on here. I slowed the pour rate down a bit, and as you can see, it's getting a little bit of a consistent color all around. And I'm going to stop pouring or the brew process at 720 milligrams. That way we can have the coffee ratio of 1:17. Doesn't take an expert to do this, but it just takes a little bit of love, and I think that this will turn to be a great cup of coffee. We got 7:20 has been reached. I'm gonna stop this recording now until it's finished. So I just finished brewing my coffee, and right here in this little demi cup, I'm gonna have to try it for the first time. Let's see what you got here. You have some like aromas, aromatics of wine, so wine-like aromas. It's got some, I want to say it's a high acidity and much like a plum, so it's plum-like acidity. Just some notes of lemon and has like that overtone sweetness of brown sugar. Thanks all for watching. If you really enjoyed this video, let me know. You can hit like if you like to. I might do more, or I might do less. Send me your coffee. I'd love to brew some.